and this NFL football player comes up to me. He goes, Goggins, can I ask you a question? How do you keep that dog mentality? I said, let me ask you a question. When you were younger, what did you want to be? He said, an NFL football player. But once I got there, I lost that dog mentality. He had a finish line in his brain. Guess what? A true dog mentality, I have a dog at home. He never gets full. It's not enough you made to the NFL. It's not enough you ran a 5K, win a 10K. It's not enough you became a doctor, be a better doctor. It's not enough you lost 50 pounds. Go out there and do something with it. Guess what? It's 109 out here, but guess what? It's not enough. Stay hard. Today I was running.
I didn't become intrigued with endurance running until I started reading books by David Goggins. Truthfully, he inspired me to get up and get moving again. I was a high school cross-country runner, but when I didn't get a scholarship, I kind of just gave up on running, gained about 50 pounds, and just went on with life. Well, inspired by David Goggins, I started running again. 15-mile runs, I lost weight. Then I reached the point of, where do I go with this next? So I decided to run the Leadville 100. Now, if you're not familiar with this race, it's a 100-mile race that changes 15,000 feet in altitude. And now, after it's all said and done, being honest with you, I probably shouldn't have never done this race, but I wanted to try. So I trained for 5 weeks, only to learn that everyone else had trained for 9 weeks. Nonetheless, I head to Colorado, and next thing you know, I'm at the starting line with 600 plus other runners. The race starts, and my ego kicks in, telling me to keep pace, but I fight it off and run at my own pace. The first 13 miles are easy peasy, but after that, the field starts to spread out a bit, and after about 4 more hours of running, the teams of professionals are way off ahead of me, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I kind of fall into this group that's moving at a good pace, and then I get a cramp in my quad, so I start to walk. 30 minutes later, I'm running again, and I get to this first uphill area, and it's a bitch. My legs are cramping, but I'm determined, so I keep moving until nightfall. Now, it's nighttime. I have my headlamp on. I'm moving. It's dark out there, and I'm tired. I come up on some volunteer workers sitting in chairs, drinking coffee, and mentally I'm starting to go to the place of a quitter, regretting doing this race. That's when he begins to laugh at me and says, son, that don't matter. This race is about you versus you. It don't matter if you finish dead last, as long as you finish the race, son. Just finish the race. And he was absolutely right. Fuck competition. Just finish what you started. So I press on up that hill, and about 15 minutes later is when all the dumb shit starts to happen. Remember, I'm running out there in the wilderness, literally on the side of a cliff, and it's dark. And as I'm running along, I see movement to the right of me. Looking in that direction, it's this weird mist, like thin gray smoke. 45 steps later, it's still there, but now it's shape-shifting into a stick figure of smoke. I know, crazy. But the next thing you know, I'm seeing what looks like a humanoid figure pacing me. And I'm thinking, okay, dude, you're tired. Your mind is playing tricks on you. But no, 50 paces later, this figure is doing this freaky fast walk. Understand, at this point in time, it's about 15 feet to my right. And it's going from this awkward, flashing, demonic-like walking to straightening all the way up and running. But now it looks more human. And to this day, I still have trouble describing it, but what happened next is why I quit the race. Because now it's moving faster than me, and it's ran off ahead of me in the distance. And then it stops and turns and starts running back. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm going to tell you how I know. It wasn't my mind playing tricks on me, and it was not just me who saw this. Understand, energy-wise, I don't have much left in the tank. I'm now paranoid and afraid, and out of the blue, this guy comes running up behind me saying, coming through, as he darts past me off into the darkness. About 8 seconds later, you hear him say, oh, fuck, what the hell is that? And he comes to a complete stop and starts running backwards. Now, next to each other, he says, man, something is up there on the trail. I'm like, yeah, I saw that too. Now, the two of us agree to run past what he just saw. But the next rest stop was about 5 miles. So we ran those 5 miles together, and this creature paced us all the way. Now, he kept going, and I assumed it kept going with him, because I stayed there at the rest stop overnight. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was so afraid that as soon as the sun rose, I went back the way I came. And you gotta understand, a race like this one, when you go back to the finish line, people start to get excited. They're thinking in their minds that, hey, this guy's running a miracle race. And I'm telling them, nah, I didn't run no miracle. I'm just a guy who's had enough and can't do this race. Now, looking back on the experience, I don't know what the hell that shape-shifting thing was. But what I can tell you is the trip served its purpose. Even though I didn't complete the race, I'm much healthier and in better shape than I've ever been. And I learned an important lesson. I am not an ultra marathon runner. Nope, that's not my cup of tea. And I'm fine with that. David Goggins can have that shit all to himself. I'm fine with my 13 to 20 mile run and being done with it.